Hey guys, it's Optimus Prime. I'm back in another video, and today I have got for you some Transformers news that brings some interesting G1 styled minifigures, a Japanese exclusive for a alternative band, and a special recognition for a particular Transformers voice actor. I got a lot to talk about, so sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Be sure to pick up the new Kickin' It Old School t-shirt on my Teespring store. Alright, so the first bit of Transformers news has to do with Super7's new reaction Transformers toys that are now shown. They were actually announced at Toy Fair, and they're 3 3/4 inch figurines. They have 5 points of articulation. Now, if you guys saw my previous review with Super7, I did the large purple Megatron, which is actually behind me, and I put it back in the packaging because you couldn't really do much with it. But these figurines are much smaller. They're only like I said, they're only 3 3/4 inch size, and they don't have much in articulation. I'm going to take a wild guess that what you can probably move the legs up and down, no knees, no elbows, just the arms and the head. And that's it. And I guess they can carry their blaster, and that's pretty much it. And the packaging, as you can see, is kind of a classic retro looking packaging. They're almost like Action Masters, but Action Masters, I believe, Action Masters had more articulation. You can actually bend their knees. These you can't. And they're smaller, and they're the size of a G.I. Joe action figure, and they don't even have that much articulation at all. They look cool being cartoon accurate, but outside of that, it's not much. I mean, you got Soundwave here, you got Bumblebee, you've got Starscream, Megatron, and Optimus, and Jazz. And Starscream is the only one that actually comes with something that's a worthwhile accessory, I think, in my opinion, and that is Megatron in gun mode. So if you want to have a gun accessory for Megatron, you can pick up this Starscream if you haven't already picked up the G1 reissue, which is what I have. And these are going for $17.99, which is rather expensive for a figure this size, but I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. This is definitely not my cup of tea. I'll be quite honest with you. Some people, it's like, they love this stuff. They love these tiny little figurines that don't move very much and, just kind of represent a character. To me, I think I want something a little bit more. And speaking of a little bit more, is Earthrise Optimus Prime. Someone actually got some in-hand images of him, and it was Smartasan Nut on Twitter who shared it, and it's obviously been on all the different Transformers news sites. And you can see him here, what Earthrise Optimus Prime looks like, now a completed model. It looks like they're actually going to be painting the hands, because from what I understand, the molding for the hands are gray, and because it's like what part of the trees of plastic when they're molded together, and that's the reason why the prototype was shown with gray hands. So it looks like they're painting the hands blue, and it also looks like they're painting the face blue as well, like the eyes blue as well. So those people who were saying, like myself, I was like, man, I really want a cartoon accurate Blue Eyes Prime, and some people were like, no, I want like the toy and comic book accurate, yellow eyes. Well, I guess either one of us, two types of groups are going to have to, paint him one way or the other. But myself, I would prefer blue hands, blue eyes. And I mean, the truck mode looks great. The trailer is awesome. And we finally get a size of what the scale of what that trailer is going to look like. And in comparison to the Studio Series Optimus Prime, here is Earthrise Prime right next to him. And he looks great. I mean, I really want this Prime because, I have the Classics Prime. I have Siege Prime, and I'm like, maybe I'll keep Siege Prime as like a battle damage one, and then use this as like the regular G1 Prime, but probably end up selling off some of my Classics and Generations collection, to be quite honest with you. But they look awesome. I mean, Earthrise Prime looks fantastic. The Matrix can be removed, and he can hold it. So you got this image here, and this way you can see what the inside of the chest of both of them look like. There's a lot of mold changes, but some of the molding is the same, which you probably have already can tell, is that the head is exactly the same. The parts of the legs are exactly the same. The feet are the same. So like the feet, and I think some other parts as well. Like I know that they've changed what the smokestacks look like, and the fuselage for his truck is on the back of his leg, so it's in a different place than it was before, and his ion blaster can fold and be like stored on his back, so he can carry it around with him if he, this way you can kind of say like he reaches for his back to get his gun. There it is. And the transformation is clearly somewhat different. There's some parts that are the same and parts that are different. I really want this Prime, because finally we're going to get an affordable Optimus Prime that looks as close to the, G1 Optimus that we haven't had before as far as like the Generations line is concerned. A lot of people have been getting, different things like the Galaxy Prime. A lot of people are happy about the Galaxy Force Optimus because, they really wanted like an update to that character, and it looks like they're going to probably do more than that. I'm curious, because once this Prime comes out, the only reason to get any other Generations Optimus Prime is if you want, like, let's say if they do a Robots in Disguise Prime or an Armada or probably, hopefully not Energon, but they've already done Galaxy Force, and so if they do any other versions of Optimus Prime, it's probably going to be one of the later generations of Optimus to do a better version of those characters, because we finally have a good style G1 Prime. I know I've seen some of the comments, on my Siege Springer review. Some of you guys were saying like, hey, I don't really want this. The Siege stuff is so cheap looking, and but the thing is, it's more so about affordability. If you want to spend $400 or $500 on a masterpiece toy, go for it. Like, seriously, go for it, because but I can't afford $400, $500. I can afford $50 for an Optimus Prime. So that's really what it comes down to, is that can you afford that much money for a masterpiece toy, or if you can't, can you get a version that is close to it? And it seems that they're borrowing a lot from the masterpiece toys to get toys like this to look as good as they can. Now the thing is that as I've been talking about the blue eyes, and I've been talking about the blue hands, the Takara themselves has released information about the their Optimus Prime, and they're showing the prototype images that we've seen before with the gray hands and the yellow eyes. So I'm really curious if in Japan they're going to be releasing it with the prototype colors, or if they're going to release it in the in-hand images that we've seen. I'm really curious about that, because I'd love to see like what the finalized look of this Optimus is going to be. A lot of people are going to go back and forth. Do you want yellow eyes or do you want blue eyes? Myself, I want blue. Some people want yellow. And I think all of us are in agreement that we want blue hands when it comes down to Optimus Prime. And speaking of Optimus Prime, what we have here is the Society of Voice Art and Sciences announces that they will be giving a Lifetime Achievement Award to the legendary Peter Cullen. And you got to admit, this guy deserves it. He has voiced Optimus Prime for through G1. He voiced Optimus Prime for the 2007 and Michael Bay films and the Bumblebee movie. He's also voiced Optimus Prime through the Cybertron games and Transformers Prime and Rescue Bots. So, for a lot of us, we're happy that he is getting the recognition that he deserves. I mean, I think Frank Welker just deserves it just as much, but Peter Cullen does deserve it as well. And of course, he voiced Ironhide in G1. He voiced Karan and the narrator in Voltron. And I know he was one of the commanders in the vehicle force. I'm trying to remember what his name was. And I know he was in G.I. Joe, and he was in a lot of different voices all over the place. and he definitely deserves it. And I mean, I was lucky enough to meet him back in 2005. Unfortunately, I was very ill when I met him, so I was kind of asking him stupid questions, not like talking to him like a normal person, and I was kind of fanboying out. And I wish I could meet him again so I can actually have like a regular human conversation with him. But he was one of the nicest guys you could ever meet, and he definitely deserves this Lifetime Achievement Award. Now, if you've ever heard of Linkin Park, which if you're a fan of the 2007 Michael Bay films, I'm sure you have, is that, you know, they did a Soundwave with Linkin Park for the decorations. Now, the reason why I'm showing you Soundwave, this particular Soundwave, it's a G1 reissue with, you know, these tan colors, is because a band in Japan called Bump of Chicken. I have never heard of them before. They've been around for quite a while. They're very, very popular to some people, and they're an alternative band. You know, what Bump of Chicken actually means is supposed to be counterattack of the week, which is kind of a you know, so it's kind of like a transliteration, kind of like Gojira and Godzilla. But the bass player himself, Chama, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. He is a big Transformers fan, and they are getting an exclusive Bumblebee toy in blue. And they're going to have a T-shirt with that particular Bumblebee with like an anime-esque version of the band members, you know, on a T-shirt. And Bumblebee himself is going to come with the headmaster partner, and it's supposed to actually be that bass player. I think his name again. I think it's Chama. And I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but you know, it comes in classic-looking packaging. You can only get this on Bump of Chicken's website for like $37, which is not bad. I mean, I don't know what the cost of like shipping it like worldwide, if it's outside of the US that you can, I mean, outside of Japan that you can get it, you know, importing it. I think this is that particular band member, you know, so he's probably really happy to have a Bumblebee toy and have an actual figure of himself, and he can go riding around in. And I think that's kind of cool. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, let's say Linkin Park or, you know, Bump of Chicken and maybe like Cybertronic Spree. Let's get them all to team up and, you know, you know, play together and do some Transformers stuff, you know, all together, which is really, really cool. But the thing about getting a blue Bumblebee toy, some people would say, like, oh, what would be the novelty of actually getting a blue Bumblebee, especially being that, like, all it has to do with some particular, you know, band that, you know, you may not be familiar with. And I know that they've done some of the intro songs to some animes and stuff, but there has been a blue Bumblebee before. And it's a female Autobot named Glyph. And she was a blue repaint of Bumblebee that was released as a BotCon 2002 exclusive, and retroactively was in Five Faces of Darkness Part 4 as this bot right here. If you were watching, you know, the flashback sequence, and this bot in particular, that was Strika. So if you're familiar with Obsidian Strika from Beast Machines, that's Strika, and that's Glyph. So if you do get the Bump of Chicken Bumblebee, you can pretend that it's actually Glyph, which is kind of cool. But I want to know what you guys think about all this different Transformers news. What do you think of the Super 7 reaction figures? And what do you think of the Bump of Chicken Bumblebee toy? You're going to try and see if you can get it. And, you know, we got to say, like, give a big thumbs up for Peter Cullen, because, like, again, the man deserves it, especially being the voice of Optimus Prime for so long. And what do you think of Earthrise Optimus Prime? Do you think that he's going to be, you know, he's going to have blue hands and blue eyes, or he's going to have gray hands and yellow eyes? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I've got more Transformers videos coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned for all that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.